Oh, look at that. We're live for another Joking Adventure Hour. This is August 28, 2026. Hello to X Rumble and BitChute. Hello to YouTube. Hello to Lurkers and Bots. Hello to the chat. Hello to George.
Greetings. Greetings, everybody.
We stream every night because the stories are real, but the news, they be fake.
Oh, yeah.
Before we jump in, be sure you get your copy of The Immortal Mass, 200-page graphic novel on sale now on my website, Dinales.com, CriticalBlast.com, and Amazon.com.
Yep.
All right. Jumping in, Colonel Town Walk-ins. He was told to leave the country. He was eligible to collect money on the way out. He made a very bad decision. P.S. Illegal aliens having baby in the U.S. doesn't make him a citizen, regardless of what the court says. The Constitution is very clear on this point. Camila,
What?
yeah. And this is a response to this post by Camilo Montoya Galvez. CBS News, the Trump administration last week sent a group of Latin American deportees to Libya, banished him to Africa. We tracked one of them, a Venezuelan man with a U.S. baby who just last year was living and working in Texas. He is now stuck in Africa.
Carlos Tejas Sanchez told us that he had never...
Go ahead.
Yeah, just because the kid's born in America, it doesn't make the guy an automatic citizen.
Mm-hmm.
They actually thought that?
Well, they thought that the baby would be an anchor baby while he gets this paper through his baby. Which, has been happening, in the past.
Heard of the country of Liberia in Africa before
Liberia.
Last week. He said he only learned he was being sent there hours before the deportation flight. And during that flight, he said he was handcuffed for 15 hours. This is a remote area in Liberia, a country in West Africa where 35-year-old Carlos Tejas Sanchez is now stranded after ICE deported him there last week. It is nearly 6,000 miles away from his wife and 5-month-old American son in Dallas. Do you feel like you're in limbo right now? Tejas Sanchez had been in the U.S. since 2021 after fleeing his native Venezuela. In Dallas, he worked at a car dealership during the day and drove for Uber Eats at night to support his family. In December 2025, Tejas Sanchez was detained by ICE at a routine immigration appointment, and 8 months later, deported to Africa. I do not understand how a country that considers itself a global hero can act this way towards a human being, he told us.
Simple. They told you 8 months ago, hey, you can take the $2,600, fly back to Venezuela, and do it the right way, or you can wait 8 months later, and we'll send you to wherever we feel like it. They didn't say they would send him wherever they feel like him. You're right. They made it more politically correct and crouched it in, we'll deport you forcefully. And he assumed wrongly that they would just deport him back to his country.
Well, they just sent him off the first train out.
Exactly. And that's what's going to happen to everybody else. That didn't take the money and just leave. Everybody else. Sometimes you just you try to tell people that El Trumpo doesn't fail in his promises. You may stop them for a bit, right? But you don't stop them.
There's so many systems.
Yeah. You may delay the inevitable, but he's able to. He does what he promised one way or the other. Rishi, the engineer who designed the house column structure, deserves a national medal. So this is in Nepal.
That house hasn't come down is because it's sitting in a unique part of the elevation, where the house is actually not feeling the brunt force of the stream or the rush of water.
Yeah.
So no, he doesn't deserve a medal.
No, they're just uniquely fortunate.
The house
that
is uniquely positioned that it doesn't feel the brunt of the stream, so that's why it's still standing. Every other house has been flattened.
Right. And here's the thing,
including houses built way stronger than this.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Even with what you're seeing, the thing is going higher and higher. That's what happened when you're basically a city is being washed out, or a town. That's when you allow corruption run rampant. You know?
It happens.
Yeah. All right. I know you posted this one, George, which is Susan A. waiting crosses out Canadian geese to Donald ducks. Unfortunately, that can't happen.
No. I hope those Canadian geese get what they deserve, because they're motherfuckers, man. They walk around shitting all over the place, and they know we can't touch them, and they attack us whenever they feel like it. Those Canadian geese, they got what's coming to them. I'm telling you, those guys are tough. I tell you.
Tough.
If the law would allow us to defend ourselves, we would have maybe a 20% chance to win against the geese. 20% chance. Right now we got 0%.
That's why you wanted them to be called Donald Ducks.
Yeah, see if we can demoralize them. Maybe we'll be able to get like maybe 25% chance against them.
Well, you can't call them Donald Ducks because Disney owns that trademark.
Yes, and Disney's going to go after the geese and sue them. There you go.
Just brand confusion all around. Besides, they're not ducks or geese. Shouldn't it be Donald Geese?
Does it really matter at this point?
Or Donald Goose? Well, on a positive, Matt, the Tampa Bay Rays baseball team officially will move from St. Pete to their new building in Tampa for the 2029 season. So 2 years from now. Amazed that they're able to fit a stadium in that location, but it sure looks like a big upgrade from Tropicana Field. So this is basically the design that they're trying to go for the new stadium. Over here is the New York Yankees, George Steinbrenner Yankee Field, where the Yankees does their field trainings. And then here's supposed to be the new redesigned campus and hotels and the other mixed commercial thing. Oops. So yeah. Ron says excited to see the Rays staying in Tampa Bay. The stadium and surrounding complex has the potential to transform the area and be a big boost for the Hillsborough College. Meanwhile, let's see them bring a World Series title to St. Pete this year. I doubt that, but yeah.
For the past year, it's been about meeting the moment.
We are honored and feel privileged to be the new owners of the Tampa Bay Rays.
You listened and trusted the magic of a new beginning.
The question has been asked, where will the future ballpark be?
It hasn't always been easy.
Baseball can succeed in Tampa Bay.
But through it all, you believe
Major League Baseball belongs in Tampa Bay.
Definition of a game-changing opportunity.
We are all going towards the same goal.
you brought passion, your enthusiasm, and you reminded us.
Basically, they saw how much the attendance picked up when they moved from St. Pete to the heart of Tampa.
So they're going after the money.
Of course, because they don't have to cross a bridge, and most of the fans are over here in Tampa, anyways. But we're basically like a central node of all north, east, west, and south. So basically, it's easier to get to Tampa. They saw the number; they couldn't lie, and this was a small stadium because this was for spring training for the Yankees.
Yeah.
But they saw the numbers. The number were bigger than their actual home stadium. In
so they're
St.
going
Pete's.
where the capitalists capitalize.
Yeah, they said this works. We're right there, right next to the Buccaneers.
You achieve something extraordinary, it's always sweeter when you remember what it took to get there.
To be a world-class community requires vision, courage, bold leadership, and the ability to think big.
Young, Vieira,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
and Clendenin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-2.
Now this is our time, a new forever home for new unforgettable moments.
Oh,
Forever
yeah, right.
Tampa Bay.
A new forever home. What happened to the old forever home?
A hurricane tore off the roof, and then they decided to it's not worth building it, so let's move to build a new stadium. Oh yeah, new owners, new regime kind of deal.
Bunch of wimps.
Eric, so this is kind of massive news, George.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
In a massive move against the meat packing monopoly, President Trump is hereby authorizing farmers and ranchers to directly process their own food. Trump is declaring war on artificially high meat prices. For years, I have heard that they had tremendous problems with Big Processor, whose many says are nasty monopoly. There are essentially 4 of them, a very non-competitive number, and they make life miserable for our wonderful farmers and rancher. And I can't let that happen, can I? So in order to break this powerful monopoly with much of its ownership based outside of the U.S., I'm authorized legal documents to be drawn in order to allow farmers and ranchers to be given the right to process their own food. This should move quickly. Thank you to your attention to this matter, President Donald Trump.
Whoopsie.
Because what that means is no longer are we going to be held by the big corporations and then they're inflating whatever prices they want because there's nobody else. Finally, your local farmer, rancher is able to actually process, make a small business and process their own cattle meat, and you can get it sourced locally, fresh. You're cutting out the middleman. And you know what happened when you cut out the middleman, George?
What?
Prices goes down.
Oopsie.
Mm-hmm. So, and they went crazy, George. But regulation and safety. Excuse me, if that was the case, why did the big processor hire illegal aliens that had no hygienics? Why do you keep getting these disease and recalls from meats?
Oh, jeez. Why? Why?
Why, oh, why? Black Betty, Sevier County, Tennessee. Judicial District Attorney General Jimmy Dunn has been arrested just days before he's set to retire, according to jail records. On Thursday, Sevier County jail record shows that Dunn, 79, has been arrested by the Sevier County Sheriff's Office. He is listed as facing charges of official oppression, official misconduct, retaliation for past action, coercion of a state witness, and civil right intimidation. Wow. Looks like things are starting to boil some more, George. Like these criminal prosecutors are actually facing jail time.
Sounds fishy.
Joe Lang. Every single week now, a massive amount of fraud is exposed. The outright theft of taxpayer money. It's been happening for many, many decades, happening openly where entire government turns a blind eye. Politicians arguing against each other about politics to distract the American people's attention and keep their eyes off the rating of the Treasury. Nothing but grandstanders. You know, kind of like how we called Chip Roy out for just grandstanding. Complaining about the national debt as they pass laws approving the taxpayer
Wait.
stuff.
You said grandstanding?
Yeah, grandstanders.
How much?
No, it's not grand. You're not standing, but you are grandstanding.
So this is not a monetary thing?
No. It's an inflation of self-importance that ends up in hot air.
Oh.
The U.S. Treasury was the world's piggy bank, but now everything has changed. The crimes are being exposed and the people prosecuted. Coming laws will safeguard the Treasury, and for the first time, Trump and Besses are now filling that piggy bank for the American people and forcing everyone else to pay for everything. It is amazing to witness. I never dreamed this could happen. And that national debt, it is all fraud. Trump is going to make sure the American people don't get stuck with the tab. Bet on it. Yeah, when it's ready and appropriate, knowing that it won't destroy the economy or the economies of the other country that we deal business with, Trump is going to say that the $40 trillion of national debt that we have, it's fraud. We're not paying for it. We're writing it off. We're not going to pay for something that was stolen. Actually, we're making everybody else pay for that $1 trillion fraud because they were sucking on the teats of the American taxpayers, and we're not going to deal with it. That's why we have the tariffs. That's why we have the External Revenue Service. That's why we're confiscating every criminal organization and taking all the multi-billion and trillion, Vatican, I'm seeing you, money. He's responding to John Solomon. The Justice Department creates a National Fraud Detection Center to combat fraud in government programs. I am sure this is the repurposed IRS. Strange things are happening every day, George. You just gotta believe. You gotta clap your hand and believe. Come on, everybody, clap your hands.
Yeah, I'm a believer. I can't be where.
Eric, breaking. Treasury Secretary Scott Bassett just moved to block Bank Mies UAE from all financial institution because the entity refused to stop helping Iran after Bassett announced the economic D-Day. Treasury promised to sever every economic lifeline Tehran has left, and finally end the threat of the Iranian regime. We also warned that Iran's enablers cannot continue to enjoy the access to the US dollar and global financial system. The Banque Mies UAE decided to find the hard way, and today we are taking the first step in holding it accountable for its continued egregious support of the Iranian regime.
What, egregious?
Egregious, sir. Egregious.
Hmm.
You know, if it's egregious, it's egregious.
If it's egregious, does that mean you agree?
No, not
egregious. No.
Agree. All right. MJ True Ultra. After we exposed their asses, NBC has been forced to admit that the infant died in Pennsylvania didn't die of measles. It died of a ruptured spleen. Another hoax debunks. It's absolutely disgraceful that they use a dead infant to lie like this. So, here's the thing. Measles outbreak. NBC News. Coroner says the baby with measles in Pennsylvania died of a ruptured spleen. So, and this was their original reporting. An infant in Pennsylvania is one of the 2 people reported to die of measles this week. The death of an infant with a positive measles test. Lancaster County coroner said Tuesday that no measles deaths were handled by our office, though the office was investigating the death of the infant who tested positive for measles and died because of a ruptured spleen. The question then becomes, George, how can a newborn baby die of a ruptured spleen?
They were in an accident of some kind.
A newborn baby?
Yeah, well, they got in a car accident. They were born. They said, you know what? Screw this. I'm taking the keys, taking the Jag, going for a ride.
Mm.
And they forgot that they couldn't reach the pedals.
Wow. Crazy. Sometimes you are crazy. Wall Street Maves. There is evidence that U.S. Navy engineers widen and dread this area between the 2 islands in Oman. This is now enabling oil tanker to avoid Iran in the Strait of Hormuz. So basically they're saying this little red line is, hey, our engineers made a space for tankers to get through and not worry about it. I don't believe it. Why would they waste that much energy to do that if they can just do it with escorting?
Toll booths?
Toll booth.
Toll booths.
Toll booth. Mario, wow, they weren't kidding. A 300-pound lioness and her cub are really on the loose in Indiana, George. The lioness was wearing a blue harness. Nobody reported a missing lion. No sanctuary is short of a lion. No permit exists to own a lion in that county.
Wait, are you telling me this is an illegal lioness in the country?
Yes.
They came all the way from Africa?
Yeah, they're illegally in here. They need to be deported back to Africa.
Wow, that's some talent, man.
Yeah. This lion hijacked and did everything.
So this lion got through all those people.
Mm-hmm.
All those people. things to make them.
Mm-hmm. All right, George, your worst nightmare: Lake of America protected by Donald Ducks.
Like I said, we don't have to worry about it. Disney's going to take care of it in the courts.
Yeah.
Disney's going to take care of it. I'm telling you.
Interesting. Sometimes you're interesting. So Black Betty says, wait, did Elon Musk just reveal YouTube's secret? Lol. False. YouTube ads are not illegal in Albania due to absent due to low market demand, not law. Elon Musk screenshots fabricated as no such posts exist. So they're trying to use Elon Musk. If you're going to use YouTube, use a VPN and set your location to Albania. Man, how many people have fallen for that, George?
Way too many.
Way too many. Eric, holy crap. Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays, D, just went berserk and told President Trump over my dead body. Really?
She's stupid.
Yeah, will be his mail-in ballot integrity order to take an effect in Arizona. Over my dead body, is that rule going go into effect? She's all in on fraud. Believe them when they tell you what they want. Arizona is red. She wants to make it blue through cheating. No, she doesn't care if it's red or blue. She cares that her power and the money and the criminal enterprises continues. Gosh, why people are so stupid on that bit? You know?
Yep.
CDN Karma breaking. New map of Canada from the White House. Executive order is inbound from his desk. Alberta is now North Texas. Southern Ontario is from Hamilton. And below is now North Florida. Lake Erie is now Lake Freedom. Niagara Falls is now Liberty Falls. Niagara River is now Liberty River. Lake Ontario is now Lake America. Somebody's having too much fun. Moving on. Another letter from Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. In her latest Scholesliest letter to me, Senator Pocahontas made it clear that she knows even less about foreign exchange market than she does about banking. What is equally shocking but not surprising, not a single member of the media mob has a rudimentary enough level of financial market literacy to spot her remedial error. To reiterate, under POTUS, the United States deliver for Americans' trusted partners. For a fuller explanation, I recommend Senator Pocahontas to take any entry-level course in international finance for her and her staff, or I can personally give her a tutorial on foreign exchange for dummies. Though I'm not holding my breath, I hope her next letter will demonstrate that she has learned the difference between a currency purchase and a swap or a loan.
Foreign exchange for dummies. That's a thing now, eh?
And I read it. And I gotta read this. Dear Senator Warrant, I'm in receipt of your August 13 letter, which unfortunately reveals you know even less about foreign exchange market than you do about banking. Terrifyingly, the open paragraph is wrong about where the money came, what the transaction was, and whether there was even a borrower. What is equally shocking but not surprising, not a single member of your media mob has a rudimentary enough level of financial market literacy to spot your remedial error. The Treasury Exchange, existing exchange stabilization fund, foreign currency assets for yen. No new congressional appropriation was involved. No credit was extended to Japan. Japan owes Treasury nothing. There is therefore no risk that Japan will fail to repay a debt that does not exist. You say it is not clear how preventing disorder in Japan benefits the United States. As your letter notes, Japan is a major holder of U.S. treasuries. It is also a critical trading partner and a treaty ally. Disorderly yen markets can trigger force unwind, which could destabilize global market and ultimately raise the borrowing costs for American family and businesses. For a fuller explanation, I recommend any entry-level course in international finance for you and your staff, or I can give you a tutorial on foreign exchange for dummies. The same principle was at work in Argentina. The Treasury used the Exchange Stabilization Fund to stabilize Argentina in its moments of acute short-term illiquidity and to prevent the problem from becoming a broader regional crisis. Best managed crisis, the one that never happens. You, by contrast, appear to view preventable crisis not as failure to avert, but as welcome opportunity to expand government control with ordinary American paying the taxes or price. Your legal question is answered by the statute cited in your own footnote. Section 5302 expressly authorized the Secretary with the presidential approval to deal in foreign exchange in support of the orderly exchange arrangement. Treasury legal analysis began with the reading the statute. I recommend you try the same. The American people deserve oversight grounded in facts rather than slogan. Although I'm not holding my breath, I hope your next letter will demonstrate that you have learned the difference between a currency purchase and a swap or loan. Sincerely, Scott Bassett. What a politely way to say you're stupid.
Yeah.
The third, Jerry Seinfeld says American Express black cars only exist because a crew member asked if he had one. All right, I'm going to stop there and play.
I was on the set. We were shooting a commercial, and one of the guys on the crew stands up, kind of slides up next to me, and he whispers, "Do you have the black card?" I go, "What's that?" He goes, "There's supposed to be a secret black card, and only the Sultan of Brunei, the president of American Express, has it." And I thought maybe you had it too. I go, "No, I don't have it." I said, "But I'm going to get it." And the next morning, I called the president of American Express, Harvey Golub, at the time, nice Jewish guy from Brooklyn, and I said, "What about the black card?" He says, "It's just a rumor. It's never existed." I go, "Let's do it. Let's make the black card." He goes, "Let me look into it." And then and that's how it happened.
So do you know, were you the first ones
I had the first one, and I threw it out.
You know,
or something. I don't know what happened to it, but he gave it to me in this nice padded thing, and it was the first one, and I don't have it anymore.
Yeah. Let me change and let me translate that to you. I had massive debt, and I got the shit kicked out of me. Not my face, but the shit kicked out of me, and I gave it up. George?
I don't think he cares.
Okay.
He's making so much money. Even having a prestigious card like that, I don't think he even gives a fuck.
Yeah. Disclose.tv. Doctors in Canada renew calls to euthanize infants born with disabilities, stating it may be an appropriate treatment, with the Quebec College of Physicians reiterating that deliberately ending a child's life constitutes care. Be care to have those baby parts fresh, George, because you're not getting your portion.
I have no comment. This is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was gonna get to that, but you understand what this means, George. You understand what's happening here, right?
The New World Order is dying a little bit at a time.
Let's see. Jerry telling stories. Yes. Jerry is telling stories. Argentine leftists, this is from Shellbanger, are losing their minds after Malay Party passes a bill to end the money printing from central banks. Watch the country's currency stabilize like in a year, George. In a year. Stabilize.
What the hell's going on here? What the hell's going on here? Are you telling me the people that are upset?
Yeah.
Are
this guy, he's fighting, right? This guy, he's fighting because he knows that his legs are going to be broken tonight. Or his hands. Why? Because his masters says, how the hell did you allow them to vote the central banks from having control of the money supplies? You know, you don't have to conquer a country. You just have to control the money, right? And every time the country becomes a little bit too prosperous, what do? You raise the inflation. You print a lot of money to devalue the currency. So what bread used to cost $1, now it costs you $1.50. Right? So it's the way they do it. But now that they said, hey, central banks no longer has the power or authority to print money, that's sole discretion of the Treasury, guess what? The Treasury is fiscally obligated to be conservative and to be in budget, meaning they won't print any money out. So guess what? The inflation prices will go down. The shrink of the currency will go up. The people's buying power will go up. Cost of living will start going down.
Wow.
Now do you see and you know and how they got away with it? We just read the story from Secretary Scott Bessent. We gave them the liquidity needed to transition from a central bank system to their own resource sovereignty bills, treasury bills. They just needed that liquidity for that time. We got it. He's like, here you go. We made $2 billion from that swap, George. Remember?
Yep.
So this is them, you know. This is a freak out. This is them visually freaking out. Banning the central bank from financing the government deficits through money printing and refocusing its mandate on preserving currency value. So, yeah. What does that mean? It means that that central. Don't be surprised if there's going to be a lot of false flags happening in Argentina, because that's what happened with every country trying to escape the central banks. Eyes on. Oh, here it is. It was the next one. It's the next one. It was the next one right after this one. Yep. Worldwide movement. Matt Morris, there is something important happening right now. For 50 years, the United States has given security assurance to the Arabs OPEC nation. In exchange, they almost exclusively sold oil in US dollars. This is the petrodollar that you have heard about. This arrangement is also in large part one of the main reasons Trump is currently destroying the Iranian regime. The Arabs OPEC nation was getting concerned with the Iranians' regime arm buildup. No, they weren't. In May 2025, Trump made his now famous trip to the Middle East and secured some $2 trillion in deals and investment commitment. 1 month later, in June of 2025, Trump sends a B-2 Spirit stealth bomber to blow up 3 Iranian nuclear sites. These events are not unrelated. The situation with Iran is incredibly complex, but one undeniable component is that there's an ongoing quid pro quo with the Arabs OPEC nation. Have you ever wondered why all the Arabs OPEC nation have allowed the United States to conduct military operation against Iran from the inside of their territory? Because they all want to see the Iranian regime get decimated. Matt, you are so close, but so far away. Now, at the same time, the Trump administration has made very clear that it wants the United States to conduct a long-term withdrawal from the Middle East, handing off day-to-day operational control to our regional allies. In fact, if you don't believe me, I suggest you read the 33-page 2025 National Security Strategy and the 34-page Department of War National Defense Strategy. Both were released by the Trump administration in the last 12 months. However, in order to conduct this Middle Eastern withdrawal, 2 massive goals must be accomplished. 1, the Iranian regime capacity to project power must be destroyed. 2, the United States' reliance on the Arabs OPEC nation adherence to the US dollar must be lessened. This is why Trump's play in Venezuela is so monumental. Also, this is why Venezuela's been rumored that they're going to leave OPEC. And why OPEC is allowing that. Because that means that Trump keeps us happy with gas and no longer is concerned with the OPEC. And OPEC stays happy in their lane. If Trump can unleash the American energy production while simultaneously unlocking Venezuela oil reserve, which he's doing right now, OPEC loses almost all its strategic value. The United States is in one massive leap closer to untethering from the Middle East. Yes, I agree with that. We should do that. What we are witnessing right now is the Trump administration multi-step plan to escape the sandbox and ultimately put an end to the global war on terror era of the American foreign policy that began in 1947. It's ironic because it's becoming increasingly popular to call Trump a neocon who's looking to kickstart another war on terror, but in reality, quite the literal opposite is true. Well, he did the Abraham Accord. He's trying to get Saudi Arabia to become the leader of the region. He's talking to all the countries there. He wants Gaza to be a major export-import port that's a free trade zone in the region. And he's getting rid of all the proxy fighters that's still supporting the Iranian government, who's a proxy state for those proxy fighters. Oh, here it goes. This is from Visgrad24. Venezuela, one of OPEC's 5 founding members, considered leaving the organization. An exodus would let Caracas raise the oil production without OPEC's quote and give Washington a larger role in Venezuela's oil sector, including a possible 100 lease of several fields. The idea was discussed in recent talks with the United States, but no decision has been made. Trump has long criticized OPEC's effect on U.S. fuel prices. Expert warrant further departures from the UAE, X's in May, and Iraq's hint in June could weaken OPEC's unity and could even trigger a price war. Hey, George, when there's a price war, that means that prices goes down, right?
Yeah, it's a race. It's a race to the bottom,
Yeah.
more than anything else.
Right. So for a consumer, this is actually good news.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Go ahead.
The consumer buys something. Okay, so say you have a. Let's do the gas station analogy. You have two gas stations and one across the street from each other.
Yeah.
They start off at $100 a gallon, and
Mhm.
then one does 90, and the other one does 85, and then the other one does 70, and the other one does 65, and they keep going, to the point where they hit their cost margin, but they still need customers because they can't operate at cost. But they need to get customers, so they go below cost. So they're eating it,
Go ahead.
hoping that they can make up the difference in confectionery or other items at the gas station, right? You think, oh, that's great for the consumer. No, it's not. Why? Because eventually that gas station is going to go out of business. It's going to declare bankrupt or just shut down. And when that happens, the gas station that survives will go back to $100 a gallon. So it's absolutely not good for the consumer.
All right. We'll see what happens. Oh, by the way, breaking news. The United States of America just entered into an agreement with the country of Venezuela on the biggest oil deal in world history. At my direction, Secretary of State Mark Rubio and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, working closely, the highly respected interim president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, and through a partnership with private businesses, have secured a majority U.S. control of more than 65 billion barrels of proven oil reserves in Venezuela at no cost to the American taxpayer. This historic transaction more than doubles Americans' oil reserve, greatly increases our oil supply, and will substantially lower gas prices for all Americans long into the future, while helping to continue to set Venezuela on a course towards tremendous success and great prosperity. This transaction will greatly strengthen the already growing relationship between Venezuela and the United States. Thank you for your attention to this groundbreaking matter. Make America Great Again, President Donald J. Trump.
Corporate speak, he just made Canada worthless.
Speaking of Canada, George. Dean says Canada is now considering charging a toll for U.S. ships traveling the Strait of Ontario. The United North America says the speed at which Carney wants Trump to say fuck it and just invade Canada is mildly impressive. I understand what Carney is trying to do, which is economically decouple Canada from the U.S., but doing so he's going to end up pissing off the United States and risking Canada ceasing to exist. Well, Carney's a clown. Of course he's going to make crazy choices. I mean, he can't be like your great, glorious former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who's currently dating Kate Perry. Catherine Hedrich. Fauci legal exposure grows. Fauci's 2012 email calls for the destruction of government records appears to fall outside of Biden's pardon windows for action between 2014 through January 2025. Fauci, quote, delete this email, then delete the file, unquote. There are two statutes that criminalize the destruction of government records, 18 U.S.C. 2071, 18 U.S.C. 1519. Hey, George, remember when everybody was freaking out about Fauci getting clemency? You know, And he's like, he's not going to get away with it. And I said, well, remember, they kept pointing that Fauci was also part behind the AIDS epidemic, right?
Yep.
And he didn't start this whole COVID thing just on 2014. So anything before 2014 is fair games, and anything after 2025 it's fair game, right?
Yeah.
And then I said also anything considered treasons against the United States is doesn't is there's no such thing as a pardon for treason and high crimes, which Fauci falls into that category. To say in his words, you are that category is high treason and high crimes. There's no escaping that. Speaking of going to jail, this influencer, MJ Truth Ultra, states State Department official warns Brian Kassenstein that he could face 20 years in prison and a $1 million fines after bragging about donating to a newly designated global terror groups. He got so scared he deleted the tweet, but the internet remembers forever.
Yeah. Hey, is President Xi in America right now?
I believe it's next month.
Okay.
September. Current talent walk-ins, drip, drip, drip. Rasmussen report. He reportedly used our CIA black budget to finance half of the Belgrade's highway server farm run by the CCP military and used to ensure undesirable U.S. candidate lost their elections. Time will tell. So, is China really the big giant boogeyman if our CIA is using them as to get rid of our undesirables?
I would say booger man, not
Booger
boogeyman.
Booger man. All right, and then observing consciousness has this is a start. Bassett trades a $1.8 billion through 103 Iranian shadow banks front. Invoked Section 311, moved up to rip Banquet Miss UAE out of the U.S. dollar system. Wait until Trump turns north. Canada still permits investment exposure to companies on Washington's Chinese military-industrial complex list. Pressure runs through the RBC, the TB, BMO, Scotia Bank, CIBC, and national banks, all dependent on U.S. dollar clearing and American capital market. TB already learned the cost, a guilty plea, more than $3 billion penalty, and a U.S. growth cap. Economic D-Day is moving upstream through the intermediaries financing Americans' enemy. Keep the CCP paper or keep the dollar. Can't have both. Yeah, I believe this already happened, George. Remember when we talked about when we read that list of all those companies saying, "Hey, about liquidity," back in 2020, 2021, right?
Yep.
I think that's when it happened. They're just not letting everybody know that's what happened and acting like, "Oh my God, that happened."
But did it really happen?
I don't know. Did a storm called Polly fall apart in the Atlantic?
What, parlez-vous français?
No, a tropical storm Dolly falls apart in the Atlantic.
Pourquoi?
Pourquoi? Qui?
Huh?
Buzzy? We apologize to all French speakers, not our first
Sorry,
language.
I deflated myself into Scooby-Doo-isms.
Paul says major developments regarding Donald Trump's designs on Greenland. Greenland's official genocide report finds a reasonable basis to believe that Denmark violated the Genocide Convention by implanting Greenlandian girls with birth control devices without consent. Now, other country party to the Genocide Convention, maybe even the United States, can file a former Genocide Convention claim. This case is going forward. Greenland immediately announced formation of Reconciliation Commission, major ammunition for Donald Trump bid to end Denmark's control of Greenland. One of Europe's main moral abiders is now in the box. Here's the key paragraph from today's report. The author has determined that there's a reasonable bias or basis to believe that the physical act of imposing measure to prevent birth under Article 2D of the Genocide Convention has occurred in the Kalilit Nuat since 1960. These acts were carried out by people under the state employ and thus under the authority of the Danish state and can be attributed to the state under national laws. In circumstances where the state knew or ought to have known with due diligence, physical acts contrary to Article 2D were carried out, and even without the requisite intent, then the state responsibility to prevent genocide is triggered. The responsibility to prevent requires the state to take all measure within its power to prevent those acts from being carried out. There is a reasonable basis to believe Denmark has failed to do its duty in this regard, contrary to its obligation under Article 1 of the Genocide Convention 1948. So, what does that mean? It means that Trump would have the more justification to say that Greenland does not have the authority to continue controlling Denmark controlling Greenland and swoop in and take the land. Take the land, George.
Wowzers.
Mm-hmm. The informant. Those giant spiral stones in the cliffs are not fossil washout by this weak Himalaya flood. That footage is from Jamshon on the Kali Gandunki in Mustang, a different river system from the Roshuwa Boti Koshi. The town sign is in the frame. Muktintai is nearby. The August 26th disaster struck hundreds of kilometers to the east. The black stones with perfect spirals and saffron clothes is a 22-foot Shagram Shilla replica carved into a riverbank boulder during a Nepal Academy of Fine Arts workshop from April 20th to May 4th, 2026. The official billed it then as the world's largest Shaligram replica, one of 18 sculptures cut along the Kali Gandunki. It's already a pilgrimage Photoshop months before the flood. So what we're watching is, hey, this destruction of this is just fake. It's not the real thing.
What?
It's a replica carved by students. The real ones is safe and not destroyed.
A silly rabbit.
Tricks are for kids. Brian Cates, when I tell you some people are going to end up being shot by a firing squad after a military tribunal, I'm not exaggerating. We literally chewed up a generation of American soldier over there so the shadow government could steal and launder hundreds of billions of dollars. Misbah says, we were told the U.S. was rebuilding Afghanistan with prosperity and a future for the next generation. The reality, a 20-year-old, $148 billion money laundering scheme. And what
that's a lot of cheddar, man.
Yeah. Oh, look. I don't see anything being built or repaired or shown for $128 billion, George.
Just the way it is.
Hey, George, did you know that the Biden had a contracting bid in Afghanistan, and that Jim Biden, which is Joe Biden's older brother, was a construction contractor who won the bid to lay out expansive roads to connect cities in Afghanistan?
And they built roads to nowhere?
Yeah, look, you're looking at it right now.
Oh, they had to build a road to the aesthetics of the land.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's expert road building, man.
I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, look at that. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you can't tell which one is the stuff that we made and which one was there before. Caroline, so Europe's oldest monarch, Norway's King Harald V, and the world's youngest monarch, which is King Oyo, died the same day. One at 89 and the other one 34. Guess the world doesn't like kings this year. This is a no Kings Day. George?
It happens that way.
Mm-hmm. Chuck Grassley, after showing off his corn, he got Mighty Thursday. 99 QAs for the 46th year in a row calls for strawberry malts at Dairy Queens.
Oh, this guy's awesome.
You know, we had some 99 problems, but one of them is not my own. Lives a TikTok. Lol. A man in a dress mocked the woke school board members and blasted them for posting drag queen content publicly online that students can see. Let's hear it.
Okay.
There you are.
All right, back at it. Hi guys, I'm back. Shamgar Connors, voting District 63, but today I'm here as my new identity is the Pride Pool Party Princess. And that's because I'm here to talk about my favorite school board member, Jennifer Craig Ford. I love you, Jen. Ew. You know, Jen actually has been holding drag queen shows at her house every year and posts all the pictures publicly. We love that, Jen, especially when they're in, public access. Anyone can get it. So when we have all the children that are in schools that look up her name and see all these things online, everyone gets to see it. That's exactly what we want. Listen, these kids, they're not going to indoctrinate themselves. And by the way, we can't reproduce. We could only recruit. We need more people to join us in the LGBTQ movement. So we have more people to date. But anyway, I'm here to talk about this because she is my favorite ever in the world. I love Jennifer Craig Ford. Okay, now I wanted to show you guys. I brought some pictures to show everyone of my favorite person. So here's Jennifer Craig Ford posting herself. This was herself and her son dressed up in drag, where they were dressed up as characters from Rocky Picture Horror Film. And by the way, those two characters did the whoop-dee together, and it wasn't consensual. And here's Jen Ford's pool with all the drag queens. I really want to get invited next time. Jen, please invite me. All right, here's the drag queen. This is so stunning and brave, guys. It's so stunning and brave. Okay, look. Oh, here's the newest drag queen show at her own house. This was 2 weeks ago, by the way, guys. And if you see, there's Jen Ford. Here's their big the thing on the wall. It says Jen Ford. Yeah, vote for Jen. And then there's my best friend, my sister in sequins. Howdy, Dante Bryden. You slay queen. And he's over there handing out dollar bills to drag queens. We had there's more to this. And then don't forget There's Jen and Dante. We love them. You know, by the way, Dante is actually on the Parks and Recs board meeting. He does the board meetings. It's so great. It's so great. Oh, I forgot. Here's my friend Yakubowski. Let me drop the thing. Yakubowski, you're running for the Commissioner of Revenue. You need to own the name Taxabowski. That's awesome. I would own that in a second. But anyway, there's Yakubowski with my friend, my best friend. Oh, here's Bryce Weaves. Bryce Weavies. I love you. You know, he actually endorsed Jen Craig Ford. He loves the drag queen shows too. Oh, now, by the way, there was this one drag queen.
Mr. Connor, part of the guidelines is political attacks.
Oh, there's no. He endorsed her. This is a public post. She posted it. Yeah, she posted it. It's on her page. So, and then here's this guy. He's a drag queen member, and he got arrested in Casanova because he was found inappropriately texting a kid. So this is just totally great, guys. Totally great. Oh, here's the Pride Parade in Stafford where drag queens were twerking on children for money. It was so great. Thanks, guys. I hope everybody can come to the next Pride pool party.
Okay. Is there anyone else?
Yeah, they couldn't say anything. To say something would break their narrative. All right. That's it for tonight. Thank you to...
No. There's one more thing in the private chat.
No, there isn't. I already did it.
What, the Giants...
informant?
What called?
The informant link?
No.
Yeah.
No, the Giants shell?
Yeah, we already did that.
We did?
Yes.
Where was I?
I don't know. But I read it, and I said that was the fake one. It was fake.
It was fake?
Yes.
Oh, that's why. I threw it out of my head then.
Yeah, it was fake.
Son of a bitch.
The real one wasn't damaged. The one in the flood was the fake replica. It was the fine arts. The fine arts spent a month creating those this year, and then the flood destroyed it. So those giant shells that you were seeing, those were the fake shells of the real one that was east of the disaster, and they're perfectly okay. All right, thank you to Record. Oops. Thank you to our lurkers and bots. That was George's final thoughts. He didn't even know we already read the story. We'll see you tomorrow for more. Until then, bye.
I believe that together we can make America great again.